We're finally here. The update is here. Alright, so first things first. Before I talk about everything, I'm just going to quickly scroll through here. You can just pause if you want to read any of this. I will mention that a lot of these things are missing some details that I'm going to talk about. And I'll also talk about my opinions on stuff while I'm talking about the stuff and get more into that opinions later in the video too. But yeah, you can go ahead and just pause if you want to see any of these. Yes. Just heads up, this update right here fixed the whole anti-cheat, killing everyone like crazy. I already asked someone, and apparently it's fine now. So yeah, we got that update. So now let's actually talk about what's going on here. First of all, 9 new perks. We got 9 new perks. We got critical speed. We got critical shock. We have cluster bombs. We have shadow supply. We have life infusion. We have life burn. It's 10% at level 4. We have technician. It's 34% at level 3, 45% at level 4. I'll go more into that, how much that gives you exactly later. We have survival contract. And we have scavenger. Alright, now I'm going to go after on each of these perks one by one. So it's critical speed. It's like bullet hell. Bullet hell gives you more fire rate with the higher your walk speed. If you have 16 walk speed, then bullet hell is the same as Bulletstorm. If you have less than 16, it's going to be slightly weaker than Bulletstorm, up to doing nothing if you have like 12. And if you have more than 16 walk speed, it'll do more than Bulletstorm. Critical speed, if you have 16 walk speed, will give you 9.6 crit chance. So already it's, first of all, it's going to be weaker than Unlucky Shot. Where's Unlucky Shot? I'm blind. Am I blind? Okay, it's right here. Yeah, it's going to do less than this. This was also changed, by the way. We'll go into that later. But yeah, this is going to... Unlucky Shot, if you have 5% base crit chance, will give you like 11.7% crit chance, as well as consistency. This only gives like 9.6. Assuming you have 16 walk speed, or somewhere near that. And if you have that, you can probably also use concealed carry, which gives you like double what this can do. If you're using, you know, if half your weight is gone, then this only gives like 4.8% crit chance. So already this perk is looking very sad. Just completely outclassed by Unlucky Shot and Concealed Carry. Honestly, I'd probably rate this as Lamau tier. Critical Shock. If you hit a zombie with a critical hit, then it'll do a shock and it'll zap up to 4 nearby targets. It's 3 with level 3. This one, by the way, instead of 2.4, it's 1.8% crit chance. Yeah. So yeah, this one, 3 or 4 with level 4. When you zap the nearby zombies, it just does 10% of your damage. And once you zap them, once you do this critical shock, you have to wait a whole 1.5 seconds before you can do it again. So it's not like this is just going to increase your DPS. No, this is going to just... If you're using a fast-firing weapon, this is probably not going to increase your DPS at all. Maybe like by 1 to 5% with the level 4 version. Not even. So it's already very underwhelming in terms of DPS. Like, Money is Power by itself would probably just do more for DPS. In terms of what else it can do, you can use it to put Arm Breaker, Leg Breaker, maybe Back Breaker on the other zombies. Not very impressed. So I wouldn't use it even for like the Arm Breaker stuff. I'd rather just use a different perk, like maybe Speed Load or something. Yeah. So this is also either like D or Lamau tier, depending on whether or not it's actually useful for this. And I think it's not, so probably Lamau tier. Just very underwhelming. Cluster bombs. It's a chance with grenades and launchers. It does not work with the Molotov. That's a grenade. It's counted as a grenade, but it does not work with it. Pretty sure someone tested already. There's like, I think eight bombs around the thing. There was a visual. I could go look for that. We'll go back real quick. Maybe we can find it. It's gonna be up here somewhere. Yada 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 yada. Here it is. Boom, cluster bombs. Is that 6? I think it's 6. Yeah, there you go. Cluster bombs right there. What else do we got? So this one's pretty underwhelming. It's RNG. Someone did it with Chironade, and so normally with the Chironade, it's like, I think it was like blue, and then around it, it wasn't blue. So maybe it doesn't stack effects. I'm not sure. So just slightly extra DPS with this. Not very impressed. Probably D or Lim out here. Shadow Supply. Refilling at least 20% ammo gives you unlimited ammo for weapons with detachable magazines. They had to have detachable magazines, and you have to refill at least 20% of your ammo. So if you have like a minigun with like 500 ammo and 2,000 reserve, you have to be missing 20% of, 500 plus 2,000 student, 2,500. 20% of that is 500. So you have to be missing at least 500. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Unless it's based on max ammo. I'm not too sure on the specifics, but all you really need to know is if your gun's not fully empty, this scales with how empty your gun is. So if your gun is only like half empty, you're going to only get about half the duration. If your gun is completely empty, you'll get the full duration. So you want things that have to refill often, that this works with, by the way. It doesn't work with the M79, does not work with the RPG, does not work with the RG6. It does not work with most of the shotguns except for the AA-12, I think. So realistically, the only situation you would use this is with the M82. Now, you're like, oh my god, but it gives you... Well, how exactly does it work? It's 100% shatter rounds. It's basically Undying, where it's 100% shatter rounds while it's active. You get to just fire forever. You don't have to reload ever while this is active. Now, a problem is, and it's not listed here, but you do not get hit money for this, so you can't abuse it with like the starter pistol to just get an insane amount of money. Undying was also nerfed about. We'll talk about. It'll show up later, but Undying is the same way now. You can. Neither of these will give you hit money when they're active. So if this is active, you're firing with infinite ammo, it's not going to give you hit money. So you will actually make less money if you use this perk than if you don't. And this doesn't give money either. So they're like both pretty terrible. This one's probably like Lamau, maybe D. This one's like D, maybe Lamau. This one's, I think, is better than Undying by a lot, because you don't have to die for this one. So you can just spam multiple times. Now, despite the fact that it doesn't give hit money, is there anything I would use it on? Yeah, the M82 has to refill pretty often as a sniper, especially if you get it, like... Maybe I would use it on the M82. I'm not sure if I would. Like, whether or not I would use it on the M82 is, like, the only way I would separate it between, like, D tier and Lamau tier. Because there's, like, almost nothing else I would use this on. Maybe the AUG, but the AUG kind of whatever. Yeah. Maybe the starter pistol, maybe. But, it's just, like, it doesn't give you hit money. So if you're using the starter pistol, you want to get hit money. So I just wouldn't use it. Alright, so those are the red perks. You got these red perks. Already pretty underwhelming. This one sucks. This one sucks. This one's like pretty bad. This one sucks. They're fun though. This one and this one's pretty fun. Cluster bomb, shadow supply, and this one's a little cute with. And this was just terrible. Critical speed. He actually buffed it when after a while because it was originally weaker than this. It was only 2% chance, so you would only get like 8% crit chance with 16 walk speed, and you just use concealed carrying at 20 if your weight's that low. Alright, so we have two new blue perks. We have Life Infusion. Life Infusion has a chance, when you kill a zombie, to increase your maximum HP for the current night. So when the night is over, the bonus you get from Life Infusion goes away. Now we do have Healthy Health, which also increases your max health, but this is by a static amount, and this one's by an ever-increasing amount. So we'll actually calculate how many kills you need. It's very fast. So Healthy Health is 140. Life Infusion gives you 4 HP per kill it activates. So you would need it to activate 35 times to equal Healthy Health. Now, it only activates 40% of the time when you get a kill. So you divide it by 0.4. That's 0.7, 0. There you go. 87.5. You have to get 87.5 kills on average in order for Life Infusion to equal Healthy Health. So you wouldn't really use this except for maybe Nightmare mode. You'd use this on Impossible mode for like Blood God maybe. That would be pretty cool. You can get like a ton of kills, like 300 on wave 1, because they just spawn so fast if you spawn kill them. So it's cool for like Impossible. Maybe use it for like Nightmare. If it's like wave 30, you could maybe use this. It'd be cool. I will say this though. When you increase your max HP from this perk, it does not heal you. So your max HP will go from like 200 to 204, but your HP will still be 200. So you have to have a way to heal up to that. It could be through the Scavenger crate, through healing perks or whatever, but this by itself will not heal you. This does not heal you. It just increases your max HP. So you do need a way to heal up to be able to actually use this. Life Burn. Life Burn, you regenerate through damage over time effects, so that means bleed, napalm, and poison. That does not mean that the gas can will heal you. That only means that the napalm effect from the gas can heal you. Just keep in mind the napalm is like a very small portion of the gas can damage. It does like 4k DPS from normal damage, which does not affect life burn, and then it does like 500 DPS, right? So you have 4,000, and then you have 4,000 DPS from the gas can, and then 500 from the napalm. So already it's looking pretty bad. Now I don't think the gas can actually use a life leech and vampirism, but the Molotov can, and other stuff. If you're using other stuff, it's pretty much like RPG. You'd rather use vampirism over life burn. Well, nah, you'd rather use vampirism, especially with like air burst, which we'll talk about because that also gets changed. Yeah, so this perk it sucks. Lamount here pretty easily. You could maybe do something fun with it. I don't know, but it's just not very effective. We have Technician. I have the stats here. So level 3 Technician, I'm going to go ahead and say it now. I think it was 34%. Yeah, it was like 34% max amount. Yeah, that it was. 34% plus 34% max amount. And then level 4 is plus 45%. And what that actually means, let's see here. So level 3, level 4, the stuff on the left is what it normally would carry. So you would have like, maybe you can only carry and place 1 heavy sentry. You can only place and carry, up to 3 gas cans. So the level 3 and level 4 version are the same for that. You get 4 gas cans that you can place on the ground and have in your inventory. For Molotovs, there's an improvement if you prestige it. You go from, and I actually tested this, like I went in game and saw, because I had the level 3 and I prestiged it. Let's see here, I prestiged it, and I'm trying out the level 4. So things that normally have 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 12 will see an improvement if you prestige it. So for most people, that just means landmines, Molotovs, and propanes. That's it. That's all you get if you prestige it, is an extra Molotov and propane and an extra landmine. Now, like, over here you can maybe find, like, shurikens, but those are whatever, dynamite, maybe grenades, but those are pretty underwhelming. You do get an extra sentry, so, like, instead of placing 2, you get 3 that you can place and store. But yeah, heavy sentry is still the same, though. You can place 3 Tesla coils instead of 2, though, but you can do that with level 3. Overall, this usually mostly doesn't increase your output. Like, Shadow Gear is probably better most of the time, because Shadow Gear also, in a way, increases your max amount, but also gives you a bit of lightning charge, too, because it gives you, like, way more, per night on average. This doesn't increase your average per night. This just increases the amount you can bring to, like, a boss wave, maybe, which is cool. I'm sure Gear users will probably have some fun with that, but I'm not very impressed. I would rate it like a tier below the other Gear perks. Like, I'd much rather use Shadow Gear, even though it's RNG, but yeah. Alright, so what else we got? We have 1 new yellow perk. Just 1? Yeah. Survival Contract. 1,200 per night. If you do that for 29 nights, it's 34,800. So you're gonna get a pretty underwhelming amount there, right? That barely means anything. If you have this for like 4 nights, it's giving you like barely anything. You would probably make more money just from using red perks than using this perk, and more importantly, red perks actually do something later on in the game, while this doesn't. So this perk is mostly a scam. I'm going to rate it Lamount here. Just very easily Lamount here. And then we have one more new perk. These other 5 are not new perks. They were just moved from other places to here. The purple perks are hybrid perks. So you have the Danger Zone, Bunker Down, Wolfpack, Lone Wolf, Jack of Trades. These already existed, but they were just changed to purple. But Scavenger is a new perk. It's locking, unfortunately. And so what it is at level 3, you get a 15% chance when you kill a zombie that'll drop a supply package. 20% chance for them to drop it if it's level 4. Now, the supply package is really small. I think it has sparkles that'll have different colors depending on whether or not it's a ammo drop, a health drop, an armor drop, or a money drop. It'll have different colors for each one of those. And you have to walk. It'll drop where the zombie dies, and you have to walk over it. And when you walk over it, you will collect it. And you can actually go into settings here, and you can have scarce scavenger packages. If you spawn a package from killing a zombie, and you have this off, your teammates cannot take it. If you have it on, your teammates can take it. So that is something you can control here. Now, as to what these supply packages actually do, it was buffed recently because it was originally much weaker. 20% Maverick, up to 10 ammo, 150 money, 40 HP, 60 armor. It was buffed. If we scroll down here, it was buffed. 10 max, 90 armor, 60 health, 200 money. Now, what does that actually mean in terms of stats, though? So, how much does this actually affect the game? That's probably more interesting to know. So, if, by the way, it's an even chance for each of the things to drop. So you're just as likely to get ammo as you are to get health, as you are to get armor or money. So if it's a crate drops, a package drops, it's a 25% chance to be ammo, 25% chance to be health, 25% chance to be armor, and then the last 25 to be money. So they're all equally likely. And we're going to talk about the Prestige version here in terms of what it's giving to you on average per kill. So if you're getting a package 20% of your kills, but only 1/4 of those packages, give you ammo, then it's pretty easy to calculate that only 5% of your kills are going to be giving you the ammo. And then you can use that and you say, all right, that's 1 out of 20 kills. So you just divide what this is, 15 worth of ammo or 30% max size by 20, and that gives you 0.75. So every kill with Scavenger is going to give you about up to 0.75 ammo per kill on average, which that's very low amount of ammo. I'm not impressed. Money. 200 money when you pick up a package. Only 5% of kills. It's 3.75 if you have the level 3 version, by the way, and you can just multiply this 10 by 0.75, and they'll give you 7.5 cash instead of 10. So yeah, you take 200, only 1 in 20 kills, so 200 divided by 20, you get 10 cash per kill on average. So you get a very measly amount of ammo and cash per kill on average. You would probably have more ammo, much more ammo, and cash per kill on average if you just use shatter rounds. Literally shatter rounds would probably give you more money and more ammo because the output would give you more money, and I think overall for most things it would just give you more ammo. The HP, you're only getting 3 HP per kill on average. It gives you 60. Divide that by 20. 3 HP, it's 2.25. It's level 3. 90 armor. Only 5% of the kills will give that, so it's basically 90 divided by 20, 4.5 armor per kill on average. Let's see here. What else do we want? So what that means in terms of HP, though, if you take 90 armor, usually you have the the resistance upgrades. So you times that by 0.8. So it's actually worth about 72 worth of health. So it's pretty cute. It actually gives you pretty good amount of HP and armor per kill on average. Which is inconsistent, but that's somewhat forgivable. But the problem is this. It requires you to move where zombies have died. And the locations where zombies die there's usually going to be other zombies. There's usually going to be Toxic Puddle, there's going to be Boomers, there's going to be Flamers, Long Arms. If you walk towards those supply packages, chances are you're going to die. Any healing you get from these packages is completely ruined by the fact that you have to walk towards where zombie dies. And so basically, you might actually lose more HP and armor than you gain from this perk. So basically, you're only doing it for the money and ammo. And I already said, Shadowruns is better at that. Not only that, but this perk is locking. So you're stuck with it. So yeah, immediately this perk sounds cool at first, but then it's just like, oh my god, it's terrible. It's just the worst. And not only that, but you have to divert attention and pick up the supply kit packages, because the pickup radius is really small. So you have to get like right on top of them. So you lose attention, you're walking towards where you shouldn't be going into a bunch of zombies to pick up a supply package. So yeah, you're just going to die. So obviously, I think this is a pretty obvious amount here. People might disagree. The one situation is if you have like people in the ammo box here and there's a tank here, and they're killing the zombies right on the tank, maybe that could help the tank a little bit. But is it worth losing the DPS on the person here? I don't know. I don't know. So maybe it's might be useful for that, but I don't think so. I think a big problem is it's very RNG dependent. So it's only 1 in 20 kills on average, but you could go like 200 kills never seeing an armor crate, not armor package, or even more. It's annoying. So not very happy about that. I think that was the last new perk. Wow, that took a long time just to get through the 9 new perks. I think the rest of it will be faster though. Gameplay and rework changes. World records have been reset. It's like whatever. If you saw an old world record, they're gone now. You still have your old records though. Besides on Impossible, if you do a quick scroll down here and skip, you'll notice that Impossible records that have been reset. So anyone with the 8th perk slot right here doesn't have it anymore. The awards are gone for Impossible too. Now that being said, because I did it before the update, he did let those people still. It doesn't say in the update, but you can still buy these upgrades if you did it previously. And I also still have the mod slot. He probably didn't take away the mod slot, because if he did, it might have deleted the perks in the 6th mod slot that some people had. I mean the mods, yeah. So anyways, world records reset. You still have your other records though. It's just world records and everyone's Impossible records. Anyways, header size, whatever. Local system data, whatever. Cool. Party system. If you go into the lobby here, you just quickly go over here. You can see like all these servers are lobbies, and there's only usually like 1 people in here, but you can join, and you could like get a lobby full of like 6 people. So you go into the lobby. This is the lobby. You click up here for social. If there's other people in your room with you, then they'll show up here, and you can like create a party, and you can invite them. And then if you go to make a game here or play a game here, if there's enough room in a public server for you guys to fit in, then you'll go into that one. Or you'll just make your own if there's not enough room in any of the public servers already there. And if you make a private game, you'll just all jump into there, which can save the hassle of trying to send everyone the code. I think you could have made it a bit more convenient, but I think overall this is pretty fine. This right here, Impossible mode changes. You get 1 life now on Impossible mode instead of 3. The only thing is you can still buy lives on Impossible mode. You can still buy like 3 lives. So I think it's a bit pay to win now. So I think what he should have done was he should have just kept it at 3 lives, but you can't buy lives anymore. I think that would have been fair, not pay to win, right? Because right now it's just you get 1 life, but you can buy 3, so you can have 4 lives. And lives on Impossible mode basically means more cash and a little bit of buffer against mistakes. Players cannot join Impossible games past the first night. This is a bit misleading. If you were there when Wave 1 starts on an Impossible game, then you can leave and rejoin if you were there when Wave 1 started. But if you were not there when Wave 1 started, then you can't join the game. Well, you'll be able to join the game, but you just won't be able to leave spawn. It'll show like a little message. That's what people had showed. They had shown it would be like cannot join impossible game late game. So basically this just prevents people from using ults, but you can still rejoin if you were there when wave 1 started. So if you lose connection, you're fine. And yeah, impossible records were reset. He probably did that because he changed the difficulty. I think this was a bit unnecessary, but sure, go with it. So yeah, purple perks. I already showed those perks. There was only one new actual perk that was in there, and then he just moved like I think they were all green perks into there. Reorganized several perks. Probably just move some perks around a little bit. Specifically, like Lucky Charm was here. Maybe that's included in it. Maybe the fact that Lightning Charge and Tower Defense are here. I don't know. It looks mostly the same. Pretty close to being the same. Maybe a few things are different. Doesn't feel much different. It's just a few perks, I guess. Reorganized. Alright, what else do we got? Attack speed perks work with flamethrowers again, so you can use Bullet Storm, Bullet Hell. One use power, I guess, but like, eh. Perk storage. So this right here overhauled the way perks are stored, preventing several exploits. This means there's no more Piggy glitch. I don't think there's no more escape artist glitch. There's no more like you could do a bug with contractor where you could use it temporarily and then put it off before it actually got locked in, stuff like that. So he got rid of all those glitches. Fair enough. Charge shot. I'm just gonna go ahead and say this now. It's still terrible, but it basically got buffed for everything but energy rifle. If you're using like the M82, it's the charge time is delay between shots plus 0.5 seconds. So M82 shoots every 0.4 seconds with its fire rate. So you take 0.4, add 0.9, and so the charge time is 0.9 seconds. I'd still rather just spam shots with like glass cannon though. So I still think this perk is terrible, but it's a little fun now. It's fixed at 2.5 seconds for the energy rifle. I don't think that was smart because energy rifle can, you know, if you've got like light mags and like weapons handling and the reload upgrade, you can spam it like crazy. Like you can spam it like 3 times with like glass cannon versus where you would shoot it once with charge shot. And so your DPS is way higher not using this perk. Even just no glass cannon, you just don't use this perk on energy rifle. So yeah, and this part right here, there was a thing where the visual showed up for the classic rocket launcher in the classic pack because it had a scope, but it didn't get the buff. So now the visual just doesn't show up. So that's a little thing. I mentioned Shadow Supply. You don't get hit money with Shadow Supply when it's active. Undying is the same way. You do not get hit money anymore with Undying, so that nerfs Undying pretty hard. Charge Shot's still in Lamau tier, but Undying now I think is probably either Lamau tier, maybe D tier if it's lucky, but it's really bad in my opinion right now. Because you don't get hit money. It's like, just use Shadow Supply instead. Shadow Supply is like Undying, but you don't have to die. You can keep going the entire run. It probably gives you more duration overall. Critical Weaken. He's talking about Armbreaker. I don't know why he said Critical Weaken. The damage reduction was nerfed, so instead of a 50% damage reduction, up to, you only get 25%, and instead leveling up just gives you more duration. I think that's a bit silly. I'm a bit sad that he nerfed it, but, you know, it's still pretty good, but a lot weaker, because the old one, it was like a 2 times damage reduction. This one's just a 33% X damage reduction. Well, 1.33x less damage instead of 2 times less damage. Yeah, that's the word. Air Burst was nerfed, so instead of 2.4 at level 4, it's 1.6. But you do get double duration with equipment when you're using Air Burst. So you can make Tesla coils, landmines, propanes, have more stun. Which is cool, I guess. I like it for the landmines. It does not work on bear traps, I don't think. I already tested it because it's snare instead of stun. Freeze frame, the chance is nerfed, but you get double chance for headshot kills. So you can get like 2% chance for headshot kills, and if you're using the new Lucky Charm, which we'll talk about later, you can get 2.5 up to. Armor break. So this is probably still D tier. This is I think I moved this from like A to B tier. This, I think, maybe move down. This one, yeah, whatever. Freeze frame, I think, is still D tier. You can use it. It's not locking, so you can just use it like if you're the person getting kills in the back to help your other people get more hit money, I guess. But overall, I wouldn't really spend perk points on this. It's armor break. It's still 6 seconds of duration. Basically, while it's active, 50% more move speed. I'm not impressed. I think it's still low out here. Long range, he buffed the zoom on it. So instead of 60% zoom, it's 100% zoom, so you get more zoom with scopes. And it also works with flamethrowers now, but it's only half the range. So if you have 60% range bonus from long range, it's only 30% for flamethrowers. But still, that's pretty cool. Lifelink was nerfed. Instead of taking 33% of the instead of taking like away half their HP damage, you only take away 33%. So if they take, with the old version, if they took 10 damage, that 10 damage would be split in half. They would only take 5 damage, and then you would lose 5 HP. They would only lose 5 HP, and you would only lose 5 HP. Now, if they take 10 damage, they lose 6.6 HP, and you lose 3.3. So basically, instead of reducing, the amount of health they lose by half, you reduce the health amount that they lose by 1.33x. So it's basically this one by 1.5x instead of by 2x. So he nerfed this in the same way that he nerfed Armbreaker, although not as hard. But yeah, this was still nerfed pretty hard. Avenger, instead of 40 seconds with level 4, it's 32. Now, this is still fine. If you take 4 sacrifices, that's 32 times 4. That's 128 seconds. Wave 4 of Nightmare and Impossible are both 126 seconds. So you'll still be able to do this on, like, Canyon. It'll just be a little bit harder. You have to be a bit better with timing. We didn't do it for Wave 5 anyways, because Wave 5, he drastically buffed the length of boss waves a long time ago. So it's still fine. Just a tiny bit harder for timing. Old Frost Armor is gone, which is a little sad because we used it sometimes. The new Frost Armor is basically static discharge, but instead of static stun, it's just freeze. And it lasts a lot longer on the zombies that you freeze, but it takes forever to charge up. In fact, it won't even charge up, because if you took damage in the last 2.5 seconds, it won't charge. So the thing with this perk is it requires you to take damage in order for it to work, and then it requires you to not take damage in order for it to work. So you would only be able to get this perk to do something if you have good control over the situation already, which means you're already winning and this perk's not contributing very much anyways. And if you're not winning, this perk would not contribute much anyways at all, because you're just constantly going to take annoying chip damage here and there, and you're just never going to be able to charge it. And even when it does charge, like, the effect is pretty mediocre in my opinion. So you have a sad perk. It's a rechargeable Cairo nade that won't recharge. Like, Static Discharge is probably stronger than this one, and I don't even like Static Discharge. So I would put this in Lamout here. The old Frost Armor was like D tier, because the old Frost Armor required a lot to get it to work. This one just... this one's pretty fun to use, I think. A little bit fun, because it's a rechargeable Chironade. But it's in terms of, like, actually being good, it's terrible. So, Lamau here. Sorry. Pacifist was nerfed. It's pretty fair. It was like, no one would ever use Juggernaut on melee. They would just use Pacifist. It gives the damage reduction was totally worth it for the amount of resistance you gained. And I still think it is with this. Glass Cannon. The level 4 version was nerfed. So you just get, instead of 32, you get 30. It's still one of the best things in the game. Running gun. He fixed the running gun glitch where you could stand still and boost bullet hell without consuming stamina. He fixed that. So like the whole reason we were using running gun was for that. This, you know, reduces stamina consumption. I don't really care about stamina. Like, this barely has much of an effect at all. I would still... In fact, I would... Because it worked with the glitch last update, and because, you know, it worked with Undying for hit money, I had it in D tier last update. I have it in Lamau tier this update. It's just don't use it. Like, you're going to sprint, like, you know, maybe 10 seconds during a 100-second wave. This is not giving you that much. Critical heal. Like, there's some stuff you could do to try and sprint more, but you gotta, like, spend money or spend other perk slots to be able to do that. Like, I don't want to do that, or spend weight. It kind of reduces the point. And it's critical heal. Instead of, you know, 5 times 4, 20 health over 5 seconds, you can now get 24 health over 5 seconds with the, assuming you have the prestige version. So that's 4.8 health per second instead of 4. So a little bit stronger. Investor, it still disables donations. So if you have this perk on, you cannot receive donations. People cannot give you money if you have Investor on. It's like you're playing on career mode. You can still donate to other people. They can't donate to you. So yeah, Investor got a buff. Basically, if you've got like 100,000 sitting around, this will give you 8,000 at the end of the night. Makes survival contract look pretty dumb, but you can't receive donations. But here's the thing, right? If you have 100,000 sitting around, instead of, you know, wasting a perk slot, because it's a locking perk, instead of wasting a perk slot and preventing donations only for 8,000 a night, you could spend that 100,000, get someone like a gun that can get a lot of hit money, and just maybe use a few red perks, and they can make like 20, 30,000 a night. Way more than Invest would ever give, and it doesn't cost you a perk slot. So this is still Lamau tier, and probably will remain so for a long time because of the way that the developer values perks. Profiteer got buffed. It's like, oh yeah, it's a locking perk, but yeah, you get more money. Bulletstorm, Deep Impact, Shadow Rounds, Speed Load. These perks also give you more money. If around the same, maybe a little bit less, usually more than Profiteer, and more importantly, these red perks actually, you know, they don't lock, so you can actually have perk slots for Wave 30. Meanwhile, if you use Profiteer, you will not have perk slots for Wave 30. So it's still, I still think Profiteer is like Lamau tier, and it would be a long time before it would ever get D tier. Like, the only time Profiteer will actually like generate more money than using like a red perk is if you're already spawn killing the zombies with or without Profiteer. If you're already spawn killing them, but if you're already spawn killing them with or without Profiteer, you probably don't even need Profiteer anyways, because you're just going to make so much money anyways that you just get more opportunity for reds later on. You would have more than enough to be able to buy everything. I still think Profiteer is Lamau tier. Could be D tier in the future, but I think it's Lamau tier right now. Bargainer. Let's see here. So old Bargainer, 8% per stage. So that was 32 at level 4. Basically, when you sell stuff, it's 75% back, so you lose 25%. With the old one, it was, you know, 75 times 1.32, because that's level 4 Bargainer. You got 99% of your money back if you had level 4 versus 75%. With the current one, you will get 33% back instead of 32. So if you take 75, or I didn't word that right, but you sort of get it. 75 times 1.33 instead of 1.32. Instead of getting 99% back, you get 99.75% back. And normally you get 75% back. So this was a little buff. Cute. I still rated it about the same. Like, I would pretty much never use Bargainer. Like, the only situation I could ever see myself using Bargainer is if I'm about to leave the server. Like, I'm about to leave the server, right? So I can sell my stuff using Bargainer so I can get the most money back, and then donate to someone else, and then leave. Because that way, Bargainer doesn't cost me or them a perk slot, because I'm not there, so it's not costing me a perk slot. And I'm not using it when I'm actually playing the game. I only put it on like the last minute, and so it doesn't affect anything. I would never actually take away a perk slot to put on this perk. That seems very stupid. Very ineffective. Just using more red perks. Yeah, so it's just if you're leaving. So I still think it's around the same as I had it before, which I think was pretty low already. Let me go check here real quick. I put it in like C tier, probably still is C tier. Or no, D tier, yeah, D tier. Yeah, probably D tier still. Because he buffed Profiteer, he also buffed Jack of Trades, because Jack of Trades was partially based off of Profiteer. He buffed Boss Bounty, so instead of 6,000, you can get 8,000. I'm not impressed though, because you only see the boss 5 times, right? You see the boss 5 times by wave 26. You don't count wave 30, because by that, once you beat wave 30, you've beaten the game anyways. So 5 times 8,000. You're gonna have 40,000 money from this perk by the time you reach wave 26. I feel like you would have made way more money just by using one of these red perks. You would easily make more money using those red perks correctly. So this perk is still Lamount here. You're just going to make more money using reds and have more output later on. Direct hit, even with the airburst nerf and the direct hit buff, I still would not use direct hit. I would rather use, I don't know if they mentioned it yet, I would rather use like Danger Close or Implosion or even Fireworks over direct hit. If airburst didn't exist, and because airburst exists, you wouldn't even use direct hit. Even with like the nerfed airburst, I don't know if they mentioned it yet. Did they? No. Well, did we? I think we did. Yeah, airburst was nerfed, and also heavy concussion. We'll get into that later. But yeah, if you have direct hit, you have to directly hit the zombies for it to work. If you have airburst, you have to not hit the ground or the zombies for it to work. It has to explode midair, which means reaching the end of the range of the launcher. So you can't use airburst with direct hit. And if you use airburst, even with like the current airburst, you can still like double or triple your DPS with this perk, because you can go from like hitting 5 zombies at a time normally to hitting like 15 zombies at a time, because you're hitting the zombies that were stunned 1.6 seconds ago, and also the zombies that just got stunned. So you're hitting the same zombies over and over again. So you'll hit like 3 times as many zombies if you're spamming airburst. So, if direct hit's just making you get 3 times the damage, and I think it's probably even additive on direct hit, like this is plus 200%, this is like, times 3, which is like plus 200% but better, and more importantly, this applies to all zombies, so yeah, direct hit's still Lamount here. It was a long explanation, but this is an in-depth review of the update. So Crit Plus was nerfed. Instead of instead of having 4.2x multiplier for the level 4 version, you only have a 4x. If you have the level 3, instead of 3.9, it's a 3.75x. I'll go ahead and pull out the crit table here. I went ahead and put it in here. So the old version, Crit Plus was equal to stopping power. I think it was like 25? 25? Yeah, it was like 25% crit chance. Now you have to have like 33 for it to be equal to stopping power. You can see here, DPS with crit. If you have 25% crit chance, you'll do 50% more DPS. If you have crit and this this Crit Plus, which is like level 4, because this is 100%, then you would have 175. That's like 25, 16%. Around here, it's around 20%. So you can notice this is crits with stopping power, no Crit Plus. This is crits with Crit Plus, no stopping power. They're getting close right around here. So 33%. Bloodthirst here. Well, yeah. Because of... Well, you're going to see Lucky Charm and the Lucky Charm change and the Crit Plus change. You're not able to really use Lucky Charm or Crit Plus on most of the weapons anymore, so it's a bit sad. It's a bit... You'll still be able to use them on like Immediate 2 and Energy Rifle and Into Flame. Into Flame can use Weapon Hoarder Concealed. Weapon Hoarder's Prestige. But yeah, anyways, this was nerfed, so you got a little bit less damage. Unlucky Shot. This we'll try to make this quick. I have a table so that can work on Unlucky Shot, and I already plugged in new math. This one times 3.6. Basically, the level 4 version takes your crit chance and multiplies it by 0.36. So if you have, 0% crit chance, you're not going to get anything from Unlucky Shot. If you have 5, you'll get 1.8. If you have 10, you'll get 3.6. It's instead of 3.6 per 10, it's 2.7 per 10 if it's level 3. But anyways, you can actually see, and I can actually prove that this table is correct. Like if I put 50 in here, it calculates around 62 with the Unlucky Shot. This bottom table here is without Unlucky Shot, so you can prove, that the 50% base crit chance, if you add up all these values on the left, it's a lot of math, but basically this all proves that, this upper one works as well for Unlucky Shot. But yeah, you can say, 5% crit chance. So night vision goggles, the crit vision upgrade. If you use Unlucky Shot with that, you'll go from 5 to 16.7. So Unlucky Shot's giving you 11.7% bonus. So still better than old Lucky Charm. If you have 0 though, then Unlucky Shot will not do anything. That's the major change with Unlucky Shot this update, is it no longer has this minimum increase. That was 1.6 at level 4. It's a 0% now. So 0% crit chance, you're not going to get anything. Now, they did change the max increase ability a little bit higher, so if you do, and it's still really strong. It's close to being the same as the old version. Now, that being said, because of the way it scales, if you go from 5 crit chance, if you go from 5 to 10, the amount of crit chance added is doubled, even though, the overall the way it's whatever. Even though, words. Okay, so 5% crit chance, get 11.7 added. Because Unlucky Shot literally doubles from this, and you're still going to be missing a ton, it actually increases here. So you do want to use like lucky mods. If you go to 12.5, so that's 3 lucky mods, 14.9. If you go 15, 15.3, so max would be like 20, so all lucky mods, and night vision you get 15.6. So it starts to get a bit diminishing, but yeah. If you want to use at least like 3 lucky mods along with the night vision goggle crit chance, but you can still use it without any lucky mods and it'll still be pretty good. Like it'll be better than old Lucky Charm. You'll get like 11.7% crit chance average added, and that's like 23% DPS. If you're using M82 with, what is that? Oh, I don't know. Basically, it's nice. It's still really good. Unlucky Shot's still really good. You just can't use it with 0. You can use it with 5, and it's still really good. You want like 12.5, maybe 15, for it to be really, really, really swell. So you would use some lucky mods. So like the minigun, I'd probably go with like 2 Pierce mods and 4 lucky mods with this. Maybe even all lucky mods, who knows. Yeah. Yeah. Sounds about right. Alright, that's enough on Lucky Shot. We need to move on. Lucky Charm. Lucky Charm's a bit confusing at first, but it's all going to make sense. So the old Lucky Charm just flat out gave you a 10% bonus crit chance at level 4. The new Lucky Charm does not do that. The new Lucky Charm just buffs any random chance stuff, any RNG, random number generator, anything that's random to happen. It increases those odds by 1.25x. Now, there's a cap on that, so like, but I'll go ahead and explain. I'll go ahead and talk about the thing first. So, if you have like a 20% chance with shadow bullets to shadow a bullet, the level 4 version of Lucky Charm will multiply that 20% by 1.25x. So instead of 20%, you'll get 25%. If you have 40% crit chance, because of like concealed rifleman or something, or you've got crit upgrades and stuff like that, then you'll multiply 40% by 1.25x, and it'll be 50%. So if you have 40% or more critical chance as your base crit, then this is actually the same as the old Lucky Charm for the level 4 version. If you have more than 40%, it's going to be stronger than old Lucky Charm for buffing, just buffing crit chance. It doesn't include the fact that it also buffs things like Skull Combustion chance, Shadow Rounds chance. And so the big thing for Lucky Charm now is M82 and Energy Rifle. They love it. Energy Rifle can get like 70%, can get like, 60% crit chance without Lucky Charm, so you can get it to like 72.5 with this. Now, notice I said 72.5. If you have chance that is already higher than 50%, then the bonus you get from Lucky Charm is capped. So if you have, 80% crit chance, you're not going to multiply it by 1.25x. You're just going to pretend it was like 50%, because that 50% is the cap for how big the bonus can be calculated by. So 50% times 1.25x is 12.5. So if you had 80% crit chance, instead of adding 20% chance, you would only add 12.5. So anything from 50 onwards, you can only add up to 12.5 chance for the level 4 version. So it's a bit complicated, but yeah. So this makes it so you're not really able to use it on most of the weapons, like Minigun, or M60, MG42, all those weapons, you're not really able to use the new Lucky Charm on, because you're only adding a very, very tiny amount of crit chance. If you have full Lucky mods and Unlucky Shot, this will barely add it much. Which also means you're not going to be able to use Crit Plus either, because Crit Plus wants you to have around 33%, maybe 25%. You can get away with 25, but you want to have around 33% crit chance on average for Crit Plus to be good for the new one. So the Minigun, the M60, they got nerfed indirectly because you're not able to use Lucky Charm, which also means no more Crit Plus. So you lost a lot of DPS on those guns. Unfortunately, the M2 Flame can still use Weapon Hoarder Prestige with Concealed Carry and Lucky mods, and you can still get away with the Lucky Charm perk as well as Crit Plus. So it still can go ham on DPS. So he indirectly nerfed everything except M2 Flame. Incredible. Yeah, so that's Lucky Charm, I think. That's that it? Yeah. So, okay. So yeah, what the Lucky Charm is good for, though, I will say this. The Lucky Charm is good for M82 and Energy Rifle, because not only is it buffing the crit chance, if you have 40% or more crit chance, by more than the old Lucky Charm, potentially more, up to 12.5 instead of 10, but you also get to buff stuff like Shadow Rounds and Skull Combustion on the M82 and Skull Combustion on the Energy Rifle if you have 8 or more perk slots for Impossible. You want that many for an Energy Rifle usually. I don't know about Nightmare. Impossible, yeah. But yeah, it does. M82 loves the new Lucky Charm, so I would probably move this from S tier to B tier, because there's a lot fewer things that it works with. But just keep in mind that the potential with the things that it does work with, what is higher now. This is about the same. I still put this in S tier. This, because of the Lucky Charm not working with most of the things, and now this doesn't work with most of the things, this one from S to B tier. It just flies with Lucky Charm. So we'll go on Strong Arm. Strong Arm only works with grenades. So that means Molotovs, grenades. It works with heal grenades and gas grenades, I believe, but those two don't do very much direct damage. I think most of the gas grenade damage is through the poison, and heal grenade is kind of terrible for damage. So this is basically only for Molotovs. So I'm not very impressed. I'd much rather use Fireworks, which affects gas cans as well, or Implosion, which affects gas cans, landmines, and all that, all that good stuff. So still, I think Strong Arm is still limb out here. Bank Breaker was nerfed. I think I moved it from B tier to C tier because it's weaker now. Kind of a little bit less reason to use it, but I think we'll still probably use it. Static Discharge buffed, so instead of 1 second with the Prestige, you get 1.2. Not I don't think I really care though, cause it's like whatever, dude. Probably still Lamau tier. It could be D tier. It could be, but I think it's Lamau tier. Knockback Blast. You know, like, are you gonna really use like this over a red perk? No. So I still think this is Lamau tier. And also, Backbreaker does more. We have Implosion. Implosion was buffed. Yeah, another thing to not use Strong Arm, because you could just use Implosion, which works on both gas cans and Molotovs. Although, this does not reduce radius. But yeah, this works on gas cans, Molotovs, and landmines. So it's like, I'm not going to use Strong Arm. Also, this works on grenade launchers too, and this one doesn't. Yeah, but this one has a multiplicative downside instead of an additive, so does make fireworks a little bit weaker, but I think it's slightly made up for by the damage bonus. Would probably use this on launchers, but I'm not even sure we'd use launchers in the first place with the Airburst nerf. Probably prefer Freeze Thrower. It's a little bit close. Wow, this video is getting long. I'm trying to speed through here. Anyways, heavy bullets. I'll just go ahead and show the heavy bullets math here. Just what it is instead of 7% per stage, you can see here, level 3, 24. Level 4 is 30% for the accuracy and damage instead of 28%. So a little bit stronger accuracy and damage. The downside was changed. The old downside was like minus 21.875x. So it was like 0.78x. Now it's 0.85x, but across all levels. And the recoil is also static now too. So I don't care about the recoil thing. This thing though, I didn't know this before the update. I thought originally that the downside from heavy bullets was additive, but it turns out it's always been multiplicative, like before this update. And so this new heavy bullets has the downside, has about the same attack speed that I thought the old one had. So it's about the same tier actually. I still think this is like Lamau tier. It could be D tier because it is a little bit more efficient for like the minigun if you have 7 or more perk slots. But it's still just completely outweighed. And I'll go ahead and show that math here. So if we have just stopping power, you get 1.2x. It's more than just heavy bullets. If you have stopping power and heavy bullets, then you're only gaining like a very minor amount, whereas if you were to use Unlucky Shot, you would go from 1.275 or 1.2 to like 1.5. So already, because this is not multiplicative, this has an additive with stopping power, so it's diminishing. Plus, it has a multiplicative downside, so it's like it's the worst. And if you're using stopping power Bulletstorm, you get 1.68. Stopping power Bulletstorm heavy bullets. Very not noticeable, like only a 0.1 DPS increase, and it's additive. It's not multiplicative. If I were to use Unlucky Shot here instead of heavy bullets, I would go to like 2.1x or something. It would be insane. Let's pull that out real quick. What would it be to like use Unlucky Shot or Deep Impact? So 1.68 times like 1.2. We'll just say 1.2. Already way better than heavy bullets. Now, heavy bullets does reduce how often you reload, so you will be slightly more ammo efficient, but you could also just use Unlucky Shot here. Unlucky Shot would actually make you more ammo efficient than heavy bullets here because of the way diminishing returns on damage. So Unlucky Shot would still be better, but if you had Unlucky Shot already, would you use heavy bullets? You could if you had a ton of perk slots, but I still don't think it's worth it. So this is like Lamau tier, maybe D tier, especially because fire rate from this perk now affects the Flamethrower, so you're not going to use it on M2 Flame anymore. So like the whole reason we were using it is gone. So it does also provide, half the accuracy of a steady aim, but I don't really care about steady aim that much, even on like Minigun. Because I was doing like a solo nightmare and I did steady aim versus like, Unlucky Shot or Lucky Charm, and I was doing better when I didn't use steady aim. I used an actual damage perk instead. So I'm not very impressed by heavy bullets. I still think it's terrible. Anyways, onwards. Steady grip. Nerfed. Don't care. Nobody used this. more aim recoil recovery, so it goes down a little bit faster, but it goes up a lot more than it did before. It's about the same basically, and nobody ever uses this anyways, so nobody cares. If you're using like the Tommy gun, if I use the Tommy gun, I actually don't use steady aim or steady grip. I just go full ham with bullet storm, sometimes even bullet hell too, because there's a max amount of recoil you can reach, and once you reach that, then it fires like a freaking laser. And so like the whole point of steady grip firing like a laser is irrelevant, because you can do that with fire rate perks instead, but more importantly, you've got the fire rate perks and not this, so you're firing faster and laser versus just a laser. Right, so this perk is, I still think, Lamau tier. It's like pretty pointless. Danger close. I think now maybe it's affected by things like armor and whatnot, so you can survive a little bit better, but he doubled like the self-damage and he increased the damage. Still just use glass cannon. There's no reason to use this perk. Still Lamau tier. Long burn. Not impressed. Basically, the amount of damage, if you get the prestige version, the damage of each tick from bleed, napalm, and poison, the damage per tick is doubled, but the time it takes for a tick to happen is also doubled. So you get, half the amount of ticks per second, but each tick does more damage. But you get the same amount of ticks when you puff something. So that is something. So like if it's 40 ticks over 4 seconds, it's instead going to be like 40 ticks over 8 seconds. I'm not sure if it's actually 40. I'm not sure what the actual number is, but the amount of ticks you get when you puff a thing is the same. The DPS basically does not change with the long burn. It doesn't affect gas can duration. It does not affect gas can damage. It does not increase your DPS. So this perk is mostly a scam. Like the one cool thing would maybe be caltrops, because maybe you need that a little bit of extra bleed damage that this would give. But I don't know, would the race be able to reach you in 7 seconds? Maybe, so you'd also need like fast burn maybe, and then it's just like you're wasting 2 perk slots now for that. Just no. So it's still Lamau tier. Headhunter, I'd rather use glass cannon even though it was nerfed, but yeah, you can get 40% max damage with this versus the 30% for this. But this works with all weapons. This works for pretty much none of them. Like the energy rifle, you can't consistently get headshots with that. The M82, you can't consistently get headshots with that. The only people that are going to like this are exploiters and maybe like people using the AUG. So I still think this perk is Lamau tier, as big as that number is. Headshot stash was nerfed. So instead of 60%, it's 50%. But you get more ammo if it's a bigger mag, but this doesn't matter because just use shadow rounds. I think originally I had this perk in C tier, but because of this nerf right here, this piggy bank nerf, you can't get revolver anymore, and so like the whole point of me using headshot stash was literally only for the revolver, and so I think I had it in C tier, and that was like being generous. So now I think it might be like D, maybe Lamau tier. A bit sad. Piggy bank was nerfed. It's nerfed. So you get one less, if you have the prestige version, you get 8,000 instead of 10,000. So you either get like one less bad upgrade, or you just, you don't get the revolver anymore, so you basically just get like the flintlock rifle or the bat with one less upgrade, or the Luger. But you only get into debt on Nightmare Impossible. I don't think anyone cares about that much. The piggy bank limit, you can have 6 on Impossible, but I don't think people are going to spam piggy banks on Impossible, because if they do, they're not going to be able to beat Wave 30, because they're going to have so many perks that don't actually help out by Wave 30, unless they get away with it because they have enough perk slots. But, you're really hurting yourself if you use more than one of these. Heavy Concussion was nerfed. I think that's a bit weird, considering that Airburst, where are you, doubles equipment duration. And so this only increases duration, but it's all stun. It's all stun, except for Snare. So this also, while, Airburst doesn't affect, like Static Discharge, this one does. And this one also affects Airburst, along with equipment. But yeah, it's a lot weaker. So if you have the weaker Airburst now and the weaker Heavy Concussion, the old version was 2.4 times 1.4. You got 3.36 seconds of Airburst, The current version is 1.6 times 1.32, so you only get 2.1 seconds of airburst. So we lost like a bit more than a second of airburst there with the heavy concussion and airburst nerf. It's a bit unfortunate. Carpenter was changed. Don't really care. It still sucks. Barricade makes the game harder, not easier. It blocks shots. It groups zombies up. It costs a ton of money. I think it's just overall a scam. So you can, yeah. And actually, I think this version might actually be weaker because you can't repair the barricade from behind because zombies will just constantly damage it and just won't repair it at all. So yeah, it's a bit sad. Berserker was buffed. This is still Lamau tier. I think this moved with airburst to B tier. This I moved from A tier to B tier. Yeah. You had to review this. Berserker was buffed. Instead of, you know, 50% at level 4, it's 60% if you reach low HP. I'll put it in like D tier. I'll put it in D tier. But overall, I'm not very impressed. I guess just for the heck of it, I'll put Headshot Stash and Heavy Bullets in D tier. I'll be generous, but I'm not. That's an exception. I'm probably gonna put Headshot Stash in D tier. Yeah. Okay. Life Leech was nerfed. At this point, I think Vampirism might heal more. Because of the fact that uncommons on like Nightmare and specials on Nightmare, and also on Impossible mode for both of those, they have so much HP bonus for just being that Vampirism will heal more for a full kill over Life Leech. That being said, usually if you're using one of these healing perks, you're usually using both, and it's with melee. Otherwise, you're just spamming all red perks. So it's like, you know, it doesn't really matter too much that he nerfed this. Like, it's not going to make me pick one over the other. I think Vampirism is better, so I would put Vampirism at A tier and like Life Leech at like. No, I'd put Vampirism in B tier and put Life Leech in like C tier. Because it is weaker, but you typically use both anyway, so it doesn't matter too much. But one is definitely stronger than the other at this point. Bullet Hell, based off of current speed instead of max, this basically fixed a glitch with Run and Gun, where you could get free boost to Bullet Hell without consuming stamina. It also, I think, has a bug with Lightweight, where if you're not moving and you have Lightweight on, you don't get the Lightweight bonus for this. So you do have to move around if you have Lightweight on to try and boost that. Otherwise, if you're not moving, it still works as normal. So you could, if you have like 15 walk speed, because you're using like 4 weight with 16 max weight, you'll still get like 15 walk speed even if you're not moving. So it overall is still pretty good. Still B tier. Boltstorm is A tier, by the way. Mod specs are now free. So if we go over here, you know, there you go. You can unequip mods for free. You know, you can replace them for free, and they don't get destroyed. You can also did I show that? Can now equip mods that affect range on melee weapons. So yeah, you can put like, you wouldn't put sniper mods because it reduces your attack speed. You'd put velocity mods, but yeah, you could put velocity mods on the bat and make it go from. I already checked in game. It goes from 6 to what was it? It was times. Let me see here. It was 6 times 1.3. So yeah, I had 7.8, and it's additive with Reach. I already tested that. So if you have Reach and full velocity mods, you can get 9.4 Reach. And I tested that. It showed up in game. I'll just go ahead and show you right now, actually. Just make a new server maybe later. So you can see right here we have 7.8. If we put on Reach, we have 9.4. Yep. So the velocity mods are not multiplicative with Reach. They are multiplicative with the original range, and then Reach just adds on to that. So yeah, you can get a huge, pretty big range. I don't think it's worth it though. I think you'd rather use Rapids and not use Reach and just use another damage perk. So I'm still keeping Reach in Lamau tier. I'm not going to use them those mods. Anyways, you'll notice that these mods here are now locked. You can't change mods when you leave spawn, so they're like locking perks. Mods are basically locking perks now. You can take them off and on before you leave spawn in a new game. But you can see here, I can't put on a mod, and I can't, I can't unequip mods or change them for other mods. So once you leave spawn, that's that. It's the same thing with locking perks. Once you leave spawn, you put on a locking perk, it's going to have that red border. You can't take it off. See, look, won't go off. It says it right here. Locking perks can be changed here before you enter the game. It should also say mods. Locking perks and mods can be changed here before you enter the game. But yeah, that's basically it. So we'll go ahead and make a new game there. So that is mod respecs. Cannot respec. Yada yada yada. Effect with range mods. Oh yeah, you can use. They did buff the range on the velocity and sniper mods, but they made it so the range bonus from velocity and sniper mods, the effect is decreased like by 50%. So it's like the long range perk where instead of gaining 60% range, you gain 30%. If you use velocity mods, because you're not going to use sniper mods, they reduce your attack speed by 30% if you use 6. You're going to use velocity mods on, if you do it on melee. I don't know if you would. Maybe like the energy sword, that'd probably be fun. But if you can see here, the range is cut in half on the bat, but if I go to the blunderbuss, the range is 10%. If I go to the Flamethrower, you'll notice the range is cut in half. So, yeah, those do reduce your range. Lucky mods, he nerfed the damage. He made the damage penalty a bit lower. That's not too much of a big deal. They're still really good. For like the M82, you'd probably just use like, I don't know, maybe like this. You would still use. You'd probably use, I think, 5. I already did the math earlier. It was like you can use 5 lucky mods and still get 1 taps with Prestige Glass Cannon and the new ammo box upgrade, which we'll go over later. But yeah, just don't use more than 5 lucky mods on the M82. You can still use 6 on the energy rifle. It still works fine. Energy rifle, pretty good. But yeah, they are nerfed a bit, so they do a bit more damage penalty. Sniper mods, they're still terrible. They reduce your thing by too much. Velocity mods, we literally only use this for like the freeze thrower. It's like whatever, who cares. Hit money changes. Some of these are well deserved. Like the AA-12 could make like 100,000 in one wave with enough red perks to just shoot it really fast. Understandably, these are probably the same thing. Laser SMG also, and Chainsaw does attack pretty fast. Laser SMG is probably the current meta now because it was nerfed a lot less than AA-12 was. So Laser SMG, Starter Pistol, Micro Uzi are probably just the overall metas right now for farming hit money. DOT effects like Bleed, Poison, and what's the other one? Napalm. You get 2 instead of 1 money per tick. Keep in mind, Long Burn makes it so you have fewer ticks per second. So if you use Long Burn, you will make less money. If you use Fast Burn, it doesn't change the damage per tick, but you get way more ticks per second. But, the burn will last shorter. So if you have Fast Burn, instead of 4 seconds, it'll be like 2.4 seconds. That'll do that burn damage. Pierce of Flamethrower has been reduced from 5 to 3. That's fine. It's still really strong. Laser minigun damage is buffed, but because it can't really use the new Lucky Charm, which also means no more Crit Plus, it lost a huge amount of DPS in the process. Backup weapon, the C96. This is from the backup weapon perk. It was pretty buffed pretty hard, but it's still terrible. Don't bother with this. The Luger does more damage than the backup weapon because you can buy like more damage upgrades and also the headshot damage upgrade. So yeah, this is still terrible. Don't bother with this perk. It's still a mount here. Yeah. What did I say about these? Did I say bullet hell was still? Okay, I talked about Lucky Mod. Lucky Mod's still S tier. This is still like D tier on the mod list, which is the lowest. This is, I think, C tier still, which is pretty good. A12 nerf. I put it from like S or A tier to like B tier because you're not really using it for money anymore because there's better things now. This doesn't really change it. This, I wasn't using this for that anyways, so these are in the same place. This is about in the same place. This is in the same place, even though we'll go over that later, but yeah. Back open. Okay, rocket launcher. This is from the classic pack. The base damage was buffed, and the damage upgrades was buffed, but also slightly more expensive damage upgrades. But yeah, that's a classic rocket launcher. Still D tier because it's not worth your Robux. Just, I think RPG or M79 would be way better because those can actually airburst. This one struggles to do such a thing because it has 800 range, and you need short range for airbursting. M60 still D tier, not worth your Robux. You get a little bit more damage, but he nerfed the recoil. Nobody cares. Just use like not M2 flame or something. It's still better. Vector max ammo is increased. Okay, whatever, sure. Still the same. D tier, not worth your Robux, but you know it's fun if you actually have it. If it was free to play, I'd probably put it in like B or A tier. Scar H, pierce cost reduced. Don't care. Still D tier. Still D tier. Did I have that in D tier? Probably. Python, I think, is still D tier. It's just very underwhelming for the price. USOS was buffed pretty hard. I would still rate it D tier because I don't think it's worth your Robux. Maybe C tier. A lot of people love it a lot. Because you get way more damage now. Whatnot. But it's not like in-game material or anything, so I don't think it's worth spending Robux on. Yeah. Revolver recoil recovery increased. Don't care. We can't even get revolver wave 1 anymore, so this is... That actually made me nerf revolver from A to B tier, because it's like... I only get it for wave 2, are you kidding me? Maybe wave 3? Yikes. Yeah, I both had Scar H and Deagle in D tier. Yeah, okay. Luger... ADS recoil recovery increased. Hip fire recoil recovery increased by a ton, apparently. This was already like A tier. This still makes it A tier. I don't care about this stupid recoil nonsense. Scorpion, still trash. D tier, not worth your Robux. Scar H, still trash, not worth your Robux. AK-47, recoil increased. No lucky shot anymore. Still true. I'd put it... Let me think. Put it probably B tier. Still B tier, just like the old M16. Did I put that in? Where did I put M16? I put it in B tier? Okay, well I still think it's B tier. Maybe A tier, but B tier. I'll put it in B tier. Yeah, I'll keep it in B tier. Laser shotgun was buffed. I still think it's awful. Chainsaw's nerfed, but I still think it's one of the best things in the game for your price. Compound Poe is both buffed, but chainsaw literally costs the same thing. This thing can barely do like wave 6. This thing can go all the way to like wave 30. So you know, I'm D tier, S tier still. M2 flamethrower. This one got pretty hard nerfed. But it's still overpowered. So high pressure stages went from 6 to 5. So you lost like 16% damage there. A little bit. Or not 16, more like 15, but whatever. You lost a little bit of damage there. You can overheat now. So it takes 3.33 seconds to overheat. If you have no fire rate stuff, it'll overheat in 5 seconds, and it'll take 3. So you lost about like 40% DPS there. You can't really use spray mods anymore. So this made spray mods go to like D tier, C tier for mods. And the M2 flamethrower is still OP though. It still does like generally insane DPS, and also super cheap. So this is still S tier. This is also still in-game material, and I would still rate it. Especially because this can still use Weapon Hoarder Concealed Carry, which also enables Crit Plus. So I still think, because you have to realize the other stuff got nerfed indirectly because it can't use like Crit Plus Lucky Charm. This can still use it if you got, you know, Concealed Carry, Unlucky Shot. Just like Concealed Carry and Lucky Shot with the Crit Plus would probably that would already be enough for, you know, Crit Plus, and then you could also maybe add Lucky Charm too. So it's like, wow, this thing is still wasn't really it didn't get the indirect nerf. It got a direct nerf, but it didn't get the indirect nerf. The other stuff got an indirect nerf, and so it's like, wow, this thing is still incredible. But yeah, you did lose a lot here, but it's still one of the best things in the game. I remember with just like 4 red perks, I managed to do in spray mods. I managed to do like 20 million on wave 30. Impossible with this. So you know, if you're using 7 red perks and like lucky mods instead, you could probably get about the same, if not more, you know, than I did with just 4 red perks. So it's still one of the best things in the game. It doesn't cost very much, and it just does so much DPS. Nerfed M79 damage combined with the fact that Airburst was nerfed. This made me move M79 from S tier to A tier. The Airburst nerf also made me move RPG from B to C tier. Revolver, since you can't get it wave 1 anymore and it gives you less money, I moved it from A to B tier. Collision on equipment is now disabled, so you can't stand on like a mortar anymore and gain toxic immunity. You can't stand on stuff. I'm pretty sure that's what it means. I'm gonna test that real quick, actually. Or can we? Yeah, we can. Put on a piggy. So we'll buy like. What can you stand on? Can you stand on the gas can normally before the update? So you see here, we just like walk through. We're not changing height. Pretty sure it's the same thing for all the other stuff. Yeah. So that's what that means. So you can't like stand on the mortar anymore. But he also buffed toxic height, so it doesn't even matter. Anyways, C4. This is still D tier, not with your Robux. Still D tier, not with your Robux. This is. I was really just going to move it to like maybe A tier or S tier because of toxic immunity, but then it also blocked bullets, and I think it still does. So it's still D tier, obviously, and didn't get that neat buff. This buff, I still think it's D tier because it's just still D tier. This, okay, this one's interesting. The supply crate. So restoration from the supply crate for restoring your health and armor, that no longer consumes ammo. So before you had to pay ammo for every like HP and armor that you restored. So now it doesn't cost that. So now it scales only based on your missing ammo. So basically what you'll do is you'll take the starter pistol. Make sure you don't buy the unlimited ammo, or you shouldn't anyways, because that drastically reduces your money gain with the hit money. You just take the starter pistol, you don't buy a key, but you just buy auto and mag size, you empty it really fast to 0, and then you refill it from the supply crate, and it only costs you like 112 ammo, and you refill like a whole lot of, you refill all your HP and half your armor. So if you only have half your ammo missing from the starter pistol, then you'll only refill half your HP and 25% of your armor. So this was nerfed to the armor thing. It's still S tier though. It's still one of the best things. Like I remember when we were doing an impossible run, you know, if you're people that are holding, you know, mouse 1 with M2 flame are competent enough, you know, keeping them off the tank enough, your tank probably only took like 1,000 HP and armor total from the supply crate on like wave 30. So this nerf is not that big of a deal, actually, as it sounds. It does hurt quite a lot, but overall, it's still one of the best things in the game. And more importantly, you get way more HP and armor now from the crate than you did before, because now it only costs 112 ammo for a full HP and armor refill, rather than costing like 600 because you had to refill all your armor, you know, or like 800 because of armor and HP. It was like a huge amount. So now it's just 100. So you actually consume way less ammo to refill from the supply crate. You do have to empty your starter pistol, and that could be a few moments where you're not holding the machete. but it doesn't take that long to empty the the starter pistol. You only do it like once every 60 seconds. So you get an alternative upgrade, so you can increase total capacity by 20%. I don't think anybody would. I don't think this matters. It's still S tier though. This one's pretty neat. So you can go to the shop. You can boost all players' base bullet damage by up to 10%. Now this ammo quality upgrade is as free as they get. So we'll go into career mode. It's the same price on career mode too. It basically gives everyone 10% damage in the form of stopping power. So it's going to affect laser weapons. It's going to affect should affect the entry flamethrower. And it's also going to affect stuff like the minigun. It's not going to affect the chainsaw. It's not going to affect the launchers. But you'll see here if we go over here to the ammo thing. You can buy this, and I think it totals up to 75,000. We'll check real quick. We'll go through the night real quick. But let's go ahead and toss these. Also, this is one of the remodels. You can go ahead and look at the remodels while that's happening. So we'll start over here. Starter pistol's the same. Luger's is the same. Maybe a revolver's a little bit different. M93R is a little different. Deagle's a little different. Molotov is a little bit different. Maybe the backup weapon. I don't know. Ump and P90 look a bit different. Double barrel maybe looks a bit different. Maybe M1014 AA12 looks a bit different. M16 that was really cool by that. It's like, what? No, get out of here. M16 looks different. Some of these guns look a bit different now. I don't know if I'm going to take the time to update my tier list for that. Probably not. You made the intervention look cooler. Yeah, so some of these got a remodel. The chainsaw, M79, the RPK, RPG, M24, all these, except the minigun, got a remodel. The A2 is pretty cool. What else? Up here, some of these got a remodel too. We'll just go ahead and look at these remodels. Like maybe the USAS, maybe the PSG one, maybe the the M60 I think got a remodel. Maybe the sawed-off. Definitely the Vector. The Vector got a remodel. Python got a remodel. This one did. I think this one did. This one has a flashlight attachment. This one too. Something. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe that's not. Yeah, this got a remodel. You can see that huge silencer. I think that was a remodel. But yeah, definitely this one. It's got a little flashlight thing. It actually works, I think, too. Let's check it out. Yeah, look. You can see the flashlight. Incredible. Totally worth it. Did Compound Bow? Maybe Compound Bow got a remodel? Not sure. Don't care. This got a remodel, maybe. These? I don't know. So yeah, you can tell there's some weapons that got a remodel. So yeah, let's go check out the price of this. So, first one's 5,000. Second one is 10,000. So that's already 15,000. Third one is 15,000. So that's 30,000 total. This one's 20,000. So now it's 50,000 total. Last one's 25,000. So that is 75,000 total. 75,000 total for that. It's pretty cool. We'll go ahead and buy this. Just get this out of the way. So we can AFK here for a little bit. So we got that. Roof access. This was pretty cool. You got an extra ammo box. Adds an extra ammo box to the shop that shares upgrades with the normal upgrades. So we'll go over here. We can buy the roof access. Buy the ladders. We'll buy this ammo box. It holds 25% of whatever this is. And it has the same refill time upgrades. And it's also affected by auto refill, but only at 25% effective. So if you have 20 auto refill every 10 seconds, it only refill like 4 ammo. Because that's, or no. What's 20? I can't do math. 25% capacity costs 4 times more to refill. So if this refills, if the normal ammo box refills 20, this will refill 5. So it would be 2.5. It would do 2.5. What? I wonder if it counts the decimals for half. But yeah, whatever. So yeah, we could get. So we can go ahead and see that there's no ammo box up there. This has 500. There's nothing up there. If we buy this, then you'll see we have a gray ammo box up here. It has 100. Let's see. Here, you see it has 125. Well, this has 500. If we go over here, and upgrade the capacity a little bit. You know, this one increased to 2,000. This one is 4 times less, but it did increase. It's 500 now. So, you know, 25% extra ammo. It does cost 4 times as much to refill. So if it's 500 per 500 ammo for the ammo box, it's 2,000 for 500 ammo here. So it is more expensive. If you get the speed hand upgrades and the auto refill upgrades, it will affect the roof access. This one is 4 times less effective though, so you only refill 5 instead of 20, or 2.5 instead of 10. And then you have premium ammo, but this only affects the roof box. So basically, we get a gun with a flintlock rifle. Yeah, the flintlock rifle. We go up here. Let's go ahead and put some fire rate perks on. So you'll notice our stuff is white here, so it's normal right now, and if we get this, it'll go red. So basically, now our shots will do a multiplicative 25% more damage. So keep in mind, the normal ammo box upgrade here is additive with all your damage perks, and it works on all guns, whether or not you're using the ammo box. So it works on like a stopping power. So it works with, you know, flamethrowers, laser weapons, and guns. And it's additive. So if you have stopping power already, you know, you go from 1.2 to 1.3. But this one is multiplicative. So if you have 1.2, it'll multiply 1.2 by 1.25. It's not, instead of adding. So instead of 1.2 times, or no. Instead of just being 1.2 plus 1.25 for 1.45, it's 1.2 times 1.25 for 1.4, or instead of 1.45, 1.5. So if you have, you know, 2 plus 1.25, that would be, wait, no, 2 plus 0.25, you get 2.25. If you have 2 times 1.25, you get 2.5. So that's a little bit extra. It is multiplicative. So that is pretty cool. It's multiplicative. Now, if we go ahead and run out of ammo, run out of some ammo. You keep in mind, we only refilled the ammo. We had like 50. So not all of our shots inside the flintlock rifle became premium. So you see, it just turned white there. If we because we only refilled like 15 shots that were premium. The rest we still already had in the gun, so they're not going to become premium. So if you want all your shots to be premium, you have to empty your gun first and then fill it up with this. So keep that in mind. That's a little complication. Premium ammo. So this makes me buff the roof access from like D tier up to like A tier for being a pretty good, cool upgrade. Zombie, the toxic puddle hitbox increased from 3 to 7.5. So basically, you can't jump and stand on stuff to... Well, you can stand on stuff anyways, regardless of the new update, because they disabled collision with gear. But they also made it so you can't just like spam jump with toxic pulse. So basically, toxics are stronger. One-shot headshots will destroy heads, which I think is pretty cool. So if you one-tap a headshot, their head just immediately goes away. So it makes it a little bit easier to see the next head. Flamers now take 50% damage from flamethrowers and incendiary grenades and deployables. So basically, gas cans and Molotovs will do 50% less damage, as well as the empty flame. They'll do 50% less damage against flamers, which honestly doesn't matter, because flamers don't do that much damage anyways. But yeah, gas cannons half, Molotovs half, empty flame half against flamers. But they already took, when it's talking about fire DOT, it's talking about the napalm. So you have you know, your normal damage, and then you have your napalm. So this is your normal damage. This happens like several times a second, I think around 6 times, and then this happens over 4 seconds. So it takes 4 seconds to do 2,000 damage. And if you take, and this is why I'm like long burn is not what you think it is, right? If you take 0.15, take 600 divided by 0.15, you can get 4,000. That's how much DPS your gas cane does. And then the napalm that happens over 4 seconds, you take 2,000 divided by 4, 500. So your napalm does 500 DPS. You know, but the thing with napalm though is if they're not in the gas cannon anymore, they'll still be on fire taking damage, right? For 4 seconds after they've left the gas can. But this is only while they're in the gas can. But yeah, this is still really weak though. So long burn, fast burn, that's a pretty good explanation of what they are. Fire, the napalm damage versus the normal damage. What's next? The first uncommon zombie is predetermined on Nightmare and Impossible for each map. Okay, this is pretty big news. So I already have the list. So let's go here real quick. So the thing is, when you're on, oh wait, no, that's not the wrong one. Hold up. Copied the wrong one. There we go. So the first uncommons on Nightmare and Impossible is predetermined, and so this is what they are. On Forest, the first uncommon for Nightmare and Impossible will always be a boomer. It's always going to be a crawler for Arctic. It's always going to be a flamer for Canyon, and it's always going to be an armor zombie for Cityscape. And this is on Nightmare. You will always see these zombies as the first uncommon on Nightmare. If you're on Impossible mode, you will always see these as one of these zombies, one of the uncommons. The other uncommon is still random. But yeah, that means like Forest Impossible, you're always going to have to deal with Boomers Wave 1. Boomers as the Wave 1 zombie is pretty iffy. It sucks for people that use guns, because that means that if you kill the zombies that spawn from the boomers, they give like way less cash than most zombies. Instead of giving you like 100 on kill, you would only get like 25. So they're going to make you make a lot less money. Now, if you're spawn killing with melee, then you actually gain more money because of the boomers. But spawn killing with melee is a bit harder because of boomers just destroying people that use melee, even if they have shockproof. So it's kind of annoying. I'd rather have long arms. Crawlers as the first uncommon for Arctic means Arctic is going to be a lot easier for melee users, and it's going to be annoying for gun users, but still pretty easy. Canyon having flamers means it's going to be really easy to deal with, because flamers, nobody cares about flamers. Armor zombies, melee users don't care, but people that use guns are going to make so little cash on Cityscape. Not only do you have to deal with the fact that you're going to have armor on combies, which are going to drastically reduce the amount of cash you gain, because you're going to be wasting so many shots on these guys, but you also have to deal with the fact that Cityscape has an annoying way of spawning the zombies. Just on the first wave, like they spawn, like they don't go directly at you, so like and they spawn farther away from you. You can't like get super close to their spawn. So spawn killing them on Cityscape is way harder, so you make a lot less money on Cityscape with guns. You're still overall pretty fine though, especially because you don't have to deal with destroyers on Canyon. But this is definitely like the second hardest for making money, at least. This was probably a bit easier than Forest at this point. Yeah. Probably. So that's the guaranteed spawns. Just leave that there. Alright, what else? Predetermined. Berserkers. So the Berserker Zombie will ignore 50% of resistance. They have 50% resistance penetration. And I think what that means is that if you have resistance from stuff like perks or mods or upgrades on your thing, so like the military axe having an upgrade to give you 20% resistance while you hold it, I think that means it ignores half of that. I do not think that it ignores armor resistance. I could be wrong though, and if it does, dang, that's pretty intense. But I don't think it deals with this. But if I'm wrong about that, then holy crap. So I think it's just perks. But yeah, it does make Berserkers a bit more annoying for like wave 1 through 4 of Blood God, because they'll ignore like half of Pacifist or half of Juggernaut. You know, that's pretty annoying. Boss 50% resistance penetration. This doesn't matter. The boss almost never. He only shows up like 5 times, 6 times. You know, during the entire run, and he just dies really fast. You throw a zombie bait, you headshot him like crazy, thing too, whatever. He's just dead. So he's Berserker. I might buff to A tier because of this being really annoying for like wave 1 through 4 Blood God. This now for in game, I don't really care about Berserkers too much because usually you kill them before they touch your tank anyways. Bosses, they're still D tier because they don't ever show up. They're super rare. They only show up once every 5 waves. Lurkers, 75% resistance penetration. That is pretty annoying, but they do not ignore melee damage like Berserkers do, so they're actually not that annoying to deal with for wave 1 through 4 Blood God. Just heal a ton of them with Vampirism, which is another reason why Vampirism is so much better than Life Leech a lot of the time. But yeah, Lurkers are kind of boo. 75% resistance penetration. You know, that does mean that they'll probably, you know, instead of having like 200% resistance on your tank, you'll only have like 50%. So your total damage, instead of being a 3 times reduction, it's like a 1.5. So you might take like double damage as a tank from Lurkers, but that doesn't really matter too much because most of your damage doesn't come from them anyways. So they're still going to be like B tier because of that. It's just Berserkers being really annoying for Blood God. This is a funny little thing right here, C69. It's supposed to say C96, the backup weapon, but it says C69, so that's a little funny. MG42, okay, whatever, he fixed some bugs there. Fixed weapon mesh parts not being maskless, so that's a small thing. That probably fixes a bug with the flintlock rifle. Did he fix it? I think he did. Okay. You used to be able to do with a bug with the flintlock rifle, where if you did a certain thing, you could move like really fast and like fling yourself at surprise speed, but then the anti-cheat would usually kill you. Radio volume slider not work. He fixed that, so now you can like bring this down and it'll actually mute this radio over here. Let me go test that real quick, actually. Do I want to? No, I don't want to avoid copyright. Gas can fire upgrade not working. I think this is talking about the napalm upgrade, and I think it's still broken. So if we buy this, you see it already says 1000. It's not supposed to say that. And if we buy the napalm upgrade, which is right here, it still says 1000. So it's still bugged. He's wrong. If you buy the second one, though, it does work. But yeah, he's wrong about the fixing that. So he's big dumb. Apparently he had tested the blunderbuss. Nobody cares about the blunderbuss because it sucks. But apparently he had tested it. And apparently it was like only one of the shots out of like the 15 that would fire was registering. So it was actually a lot worse than we had even thought. So that was a pretty good meme, laughing at him because of that. But apparently he fixed that, so it should be good now. Fixed being able to unequip locking perks with 3 spec tokens and prestige. So you can no longer get rid of locking perks. So if you put on Profiteer, you can't... If you put on Profiteer and you click this, it's still going to be here. If you Prestige, it's still going to be there. Now, if you Prestige and like the locking perk was to level 30 and you got rid of your level 30 slot, it'll still be there until you leave the game. So yeah, if I have Profiteer right here and I were to Prestige and I stay in the server, I would still have Profiteer right here. But if I go to a new server and don't come back, I won't have Profiteer there anymore. But yeah, you can't get rid of locking perks with 3 spec tokens. So that makes locking perks, well, It makes them less pay to win, but also, you know, sort of makes them even less usable if they were even usable in the first place. Combined with the fact that you can't late join when impossible. So yeah, this is basically talking about the piggy glitch and escape artist glitch. You can't do that anymore. Pretty sure. Shadow Gear fix. So apparently it was still working as the old version, even though he nerfed the chance. So it was supposed to be like 25% chance to shadow. The old version was like 40% chance, 40% more gear on average, and so it would calculate the chance to shadow based on whatever that meant. And he was supposed to change it to 25% chance to shadow, but it was still based. He hadn't updated that part of the code. Instead of being 25% chance to shadow, it's 25% more gear on average. And so you were actually getting a lot less gear than you were supposed to. So he fixed that. So you basically buff shadow gear. Danger Zone being capped at 6% crit chance. That's a bit funny. No, I don't think anyone would know or care because Danger Zone sucks. Visuals not stopping during time freeze. The timers stop? Huh. Whatever. Altered time freeze damage immunity, so no longer possible to die during activation. That was actually pretty funny, because I have a GIF somewhere here. Actually, I don't know if it's here, but I took a GIF where time freeze had activated, but like 3 seconds after it had activated, the person using it still died. And so I'm just like, this is supposed to be a clutch perk, but it can't even clutch. They still die anyways. They died to like a toxic zombie puddle, but yeah, he fixed that. I got him to fix that. Fixed body armor providing explosive damage resistance even after fully destroyed. I don't know. I don't recall ever noticing this being the thing. Maybe it's talking in part. I do know that like if you bought body armor and you bought the resistance upgrades, and like your body armor ran out, you would still gain like resistance from like the flamer damage over time effect. So I don't know if it's referring to like that or if it's referring to like boomers. I don't know if I would notice that with boomers, but whatever. Eliminates Sajui, cool, whatever. Extra burst fire upgrades. This is probably talking about like the laser shotgun because I think one of the burst upgrades was broken. I don't know if it's actually fixed because I haven't tested it. Knowing that the gas can upgrade was not actually fixed, even though he said he fixed it. Yada yada. This is really so long. Okay, alt fire and weapons not doing damage. If the prime weapons are ammo, yikes. Good thing you fixed that. This one right here, a lot of people were pretty sad about this one. This camera will now reset to a random direction on death. And also when you spawn, you have a random direction too for your camera. So this was to stop people from macroing, but people found a way around this already. So I'm not going to say what it is. You're just going to have to figure out yourself or find it from someone in the Discord because I don't want Catch to patch it. But yeah, people have already found a new way to get around this. Well, there's a few ways actually. You could use like professional macro software that can like search for like specific pixels, a set amount of pixels or something, with like some color tolerance, sort of like Photoshop color tolerance. Or you could just abuse another thing, but I'm not talking about it. A small amount of idle shake to chainsaw. Okay. Can no longer repeat boss nights by losing lives to gain extra boss money. So this is something that we did sometimes on like impossible mode when we had 3 lives. Now we only have 1. But you could like throw the boss wave. And so not only would you have the super long boss night, but you'd also get the money from the boss from killing the boss again. So apparently you just can't get the boss money again, but you can still throw for that huge night of money. He fixed crit chance for melee weapons provided perks. It's now visible in stats. Yay! Time stop damage immunity has been changed to prevent death. I think you mentioned that. Reorganize menu settings. He's talking about this. Sure. Fix headshots not being counted on the scoreboard. Fix being able to stand on other players' backs. Yada yada yada. Perk changes. He buffed critical speed. He changed critical shock to actually be able to do the because originally critical shock was literally just garbage, and now it's still garbage, but it actually has a use now. You can use it to send arm breaker out to multiple things or leg breaker. So he changed that. Life burn was buffed. He buffed Scavenger pretty huge, like 50% for most of these things. Because it was bad, and it still is, in my opinion. Poison upgrade for Great Shirk is not working. Well, we saw what happened with that napalm upgrade on the gas can. This probably doesn't work either. And blocks return 1 box. Perks upgrades will empty. Oh, okay. So originally, when Shadow Supply came out, this perk, if the ammo box was empty, you could proc Shadow Supply over and over again. Because if the ammo box was empty and you went to refill it, it wouldn't put any ammo to your gun. But because your gun was missing so much ammo, it would proc Shadow Supply for like, 90% of the duration. So all you had to do was leave like 10 shots in your gun out of like 300. And so you could turn on Shadow Supply. It's probably in bug reports somewhere. I think I was the one that reported that. You go searching. We go searching. We go searching. Searching. Ah, here it is. So this was Shadow Supply. So you can see the ammo box was empty, and I could just keep refilling to turn back on the Shadow Supply, even though there was nothing in there. So you could literally just Shadow Supply forever. So he fixed that, and I think that's what he's talking about this. Player stats not being removed on leaving. So there was a bug with like the leaderboard. There's a bunch of names that would stick or something. Gaining attack speed boost, sometimes refilling ammo. There was a bug where if you were holding down mouse 1 with an automatic weapon and still firing, and then you pressed refill, when you finished refilling for like the next second or so, you would fire insanely fast. And so that would make some really good meme. And also it would just be a little bit overpowered too. But they fixed that. Yada 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 yada. This was a meme. Okay, so like between here and here, people were dying like crazy from the anti-cheat, I think. You can use Jack of Trades on Career. Wow, incredible. Pipe Bomb's not learning zombies. I think they were bugged. Oh yeah, Pipe Bomb was one of the things that got remodeled. It's a really ugly remodel. Let's go take a look. You notice it looks way different now if you remember it before. It's like no longer a mesh, it's just like a bunch of blocks. But yeah, when you threw the Pipe Bomb before he fixed it, after he changed the model, the zombies would go here instead of over there if you threw the Pipe Bomb or something like that. It was like weird, so he fixed that. Boss zombies will no longer equip large hats. I don't know if any of you remember like the Muffins and Twinkies, Boss Zombie or whatever. Like these zombies with huge hats, and so the hats would actually provide extra head hitbox, and so you could like nuke them with headshots very easily, or they would just block shots from reaching the other zombies. He had an anti-fly hack, so if you stay suspended in the air too long, so if I do this, 2, 3, 4, go, you'll see I died there. So that was the anti-fly hack, but it's more supposed to address exploiters that were like hovering in the air, not that specific glitch that I just showed you. Anyways, it didn't really matter about that you patched fly hacking because the zombies have infinite vertical damage. So it's like a cylinder around them. If you're here on the ground around them, they can just barely touch you. But if you're like right above them, they can still touch you. They have infinite. Like if you ever go to Cityscape and you'll notice like there's like a bridge above you that zombies drop off of. Zombies will not drop off yet, but like a flamer will like randomly puff you from the bridge, even though it's nowhere near you because it's like right above you, even though it's like way up here on the bridge. So yeah, they have infinite vertical damage. But yeah, he tried to fix the anti-cheat here. It didn't work. People were still getting murdered by it. But I think he finally fixed it here because someone was telling me that he wasn't getting. He tried to get it to die to anti-cheat, and he couldn't get it to die to anti-cheat. So it seems like he's fixed. And I think that is the entire update. That's a lot of stuff. This is like 2 hours. Are you kidding me? Alright, so now we get into the good stuff. Let's turn Perk 2 list. Lots of changes here. And this is... I probably maybe put Pacifist here. Speed load, lucky shot, stopping power, glass cannon, still the best. Put it like here. Yeah. No, I'll put it back up here. Yada yada yada. Okay, so yeah. You notice there's a lot of perks in S tier. If any of you remember from last update. Anyways. Deep Impact, Pierce, Light Mags. This is basically energy rifle. The only thing I'd use this on is like the energy rifle and laser SMG, but it's really good with those. It's like this but better. I used to have this in A tier, I think, but I moved it down. Life Infusion is, I think, overall better than Healthy Health at what it's doing for like Impossible mode. Like, we get like 300 something kills on Wave 1 Impossible, so very quickly it becomes stronger than Healthy Health. But sometimes we'll use both of these, but Life Infusion is overall better than Healthy Health. Kind of makes this perk less relevant. We nerfed. I put Armbreaker down a little bit. I put Crit Heal up for fun. Maybe Juggernaut up here. I moved Regrowth Plus up here. Maybe that's a little bit too high. Moved Time Freeze back up because it gives you damage immunity now, like before. The Technician perk is down here instead of with these three because this one doesn't actually increase your output. Like this one makes your things, like your Frost Generators will last 40% longer. You will get more Frost Generators per night. You can randomly get more Frost Generators per night, and this one is like a sort of Technician, but Technician and Lightning Charge had a baby. And then this is just Technician, right? You can store more stuff. So like if you want to stay up a ton of gear for Wave 30, then this one and this one would be good. But you'd probably still also use this. Like a lot of the time, this one just ends up the Tower Defense ends up being Technician, the same as Technician but better. So very rarely will Technician actually be like game changing. But it is fun. Same thing for Shadow Supply. Like I'd probably put Shadow Supply in here, honestly. I don't know. Maybe I'll put Undying here for now. Freeze Frame's about the same. Lifelink about the same. I moved Running Gun Marathon Man down because you can't. Undying doesn't give hit money anymore, so it's like, why would I bother with Running Gun Marathon Man? Life Burns down here. Static Discharge. I don't know. Maybe I'll put Static Discharge. Nah, that's too generous. Frost Armor. Escape Artist. Because of Undying nerf, like the whole point of me using Escape Artist was for Undying, and so it's like, don't carry now. It's Lamau. Heavy Tank. Like, just use Pacifist, Juggernaut. It's better. Like, here's the thing with Heavy Tank. You're using the minigun, you want as many red perks as you can get. Almost all the time. So you don't have room for Heavy Tank. And anyways, I did math at one point, and it turns out that you get more... You can take more damage over Wave 30 with Equilibrium than you can with Heavy Tank. And that's with medkits. That's not including Supply Crate, but that is with medkits and your natural health regen and the armor you start with. I could pull up that math if I wanted to. I got it here somewhere. Heavy Tank. It's pretty long. So this much armor from Equilibrium Wave 30 versus this much HP and armor on Heavy Tank. So you can see they're close, but Equilibrium actually does give more than Heavy Tank here. And this is only for the minigun. So the best case scenario, the best weapon for the Heavy Tank can't even do as good as Equilibrium. You can fact check that if you want. Now, if you're using Supply Crate, then yes. And this is like an older tier list if you want to see. Anyways, go back to the tier list. Scavenger, Lamau tier, Cluster Bombs. Maybe I'll move it here. Like this one's really close. It's like either here or here. I'll put it here to be generous. This one's just obviously terrible. It's just like what, 5% crit chance? Are you serious? No, not even less. It's just unlucky shot, but not actually good. Yeah, that's about it for that. Save it. F is to perk. But it is 2. 11 2. Well, wait, no, that's the wrong update. We are What's the update? 5.03? Whatever, I'm too lazy to change that. So that's that. We'll just get rid of this old one. This is the mods one. I think it's about up to date, yeah. See, because of the airburst nerf, I'm no longer valuing CQB mods super highly. About B tier, maybe. It could be like A tier. Because this is really just for the M79. I moved this up from D tier because of the Shadow Supply. With the Deep Max mod, they're called loaded mods. You reduce your max ammo while also increasing your mag size. So you'll be able to empty your gun much faster. So you could do it with like the AUG, empty it super fast and spend a ton of time with Shadow Supply, killing stuff like crazy. But overall, I'm not impressed. Yada 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 yada. Rapid mods, deep mod. Yeah. So I moved glass mods up, so there's that. So there's that. Yada yada. Free to play weapons. I think that's about it. M79 demoted, revolver demoted. This has less damage and airburst is weaker. This can't get wave 1 anymore with piggy bank, and it gives less money. And headshot stash and nerf too. So no more of that. I moved this up because you can get that ammo box thing and also premium ammo. It's pretty cool. But yeah, the crit plus and glass nerf, glass cannon nerf. You would think that you wouldn't be able to, and also the lucky mods nerf. You think you wouldn't be able to use as many lucky mods on like the Avenger rifle and M82, but you got the ammo box upgrade that affects both. It gives free half a stopping power to both the Avenger rifle and M82. It turns out you actually have a bit more damage than you did previously, even though glass, lucky mods, and the crit plus were nerfed. So it's pretty convenient. Well, but you gotta pay 75k for that though. Up to, it could be 50k, but the last 2% is a bit expensive. Whatever. Is there anything else? Yeah, all these things still suck. Laser minigun indirectly nerf. I think I moved minigun from A to B tier because of the Lucky Charm and Crit Plus. Yeah, and RPG, because airburst is weaker now. I moved anything else up? Don't know. Yeah. And then what else we got? We got the Game Pass weapons. So Sawed Off used to be B tier. I moved the Sawed Off from B tier to D tier because you don't use it for Undying anymore. I had Gas Grenade in C tier. I moved it up to B tier because I think it's slightly more worth. Like Gas Grenade actually does something decently useful in like Impossible 30. Like you can slow a bunch of groups of zombies down a little bit. It's like a semi-zombie bait a little bit. But the Heavy Sentry does almost nothing on wave 30. But it is fun, the Heavy Sentry. But I still think Gas Grenade is a bit better. So yeah, I do have this here now. This is literally the same. Like this is still OP. This is still really good. This is still OP. This might actually be stronger because it doesn't cost you armor, and it doesn't cost you a ton of ammo to refill. It just costs you like 112 if you just use the starter pistols, right? But yeah, it's about the same for the Game Pass tier list. Meta is probably around the same too. People were asking about what's meta. Let's edit this one real quick. This is probably how I feel about the Berserkers right now. I don't know, we could do that there. These are pretty annoying. Like, yeah, good. Just, I don't know, maybe just lurkers in B tier. Could move crawlers here. Crawlers, yeah, that's probably more like it. This is probably how I feel right now. Yep, that's how I feel. I think that's it. I already went ham on, like, with my new macro. So yeah, macros still work if you're wondering, but yeah, they did partially fix a bunch of the old ones, patch a bunch of the old ones. Yeah. We could show like Scavenger here real quick. We have some Molotovs. We'll show. We have to equip the Scavenger perk. I have no way to do that. We'll go show the Scavenger packages. Maybe we'll show cluster bombs. I already showed that cluster bombs though. Could show crit shock. Crit shock. Life infusion. Technician. Did I show technician? I'm pretty sure I did. We'll show technician one more time just to be just in case. Return. You can see here. Items on the left is how much you have normally. Items on the right, how much you get with the level 3 and also level 4 technician. You can see which one's improved by prestiging. Yada yada yada. Just pause there. Okay, whatever. Yeah. Let's go in here. I want to see the supply crates, scavenger crates. We'll use Lucky Charm even to buff the scavenger chance from 20 to 25%. It'll be like a meme. Alright, so we're going to put on Technician too. So you'll see here. So you see here we have 4. Refills we'll have 6. We have 6 now. We'll put on like Tower Defense. We'll put on Lightning Charge because why not? Put on Shockproof. Gonna put on like Life Infusion. I would like to fit in Vampirism. I think we have Boomers though, so maybe not. We'll show. We'll use Life Leech. And we'll show the thing. The thing. Oh yeah, we wanted to do scavenger crates. That's how we'll do it. We'll do scavenger crates and that. Oh, now we really want Lucky Charm though, don't we? Scavenger packages. You see how well we do. Should heal us armor and HP, right? So. Oh, we need to get a. Well, I don't know. I don't care about the ammo and scavenger. Not very important. It's a shame that it's locking. If it wasn't locking, I don't know. Maybe it would be fun to use sometimes. It's locking. Shop Sniper's taking some kills. Hey look, we got some scavenger packages. So you can see like there's some yellow particles there. You can barely see them. Actually, is it the color of the package? Because that one looks different. So if I step on this one, I think that was ammo. That was also ammo. That was ammo. What's this one? I think that might have been money. What's this one? I can't tell. You can see our Life Infusion is putting in some work. We're getting some max HP there. I need to lower my HP. Let's stand here. Kill me! The Molotovs are too strong! Okay, so what's this yellow one? Do some damage. Do some damage. Yeah, I don't think the bosses pierce the armor resistance. It's just like perk resistance, maybe. Right, lower my HP. So we have some crates there. Maybe we'll save them towards the day and see what they do. See if they despawn either. Maybe some of them are despawning. I think I saw one over there despawn. I don't know what the criteria is for despawning them. Yeah, you saw some despawn. What does this one do? That was HP. I think the yellow one? This one? No. This? I can't tell. We'll just have to wait for the day. Alright, well the day is here now. Alright, so they're despawning. I think it's time-based. Well, they're despawning so fast. Ah. I can't tell what I need to do. But anyways, it was pretty underwhelming. That'll be all. think that was 2 hours long. Well, people wanted an in-depth update, review, and all the details. You got it all, but it's 2 hours and 10 minutes, right? That's probably why Ketchup didn't bother making this super, like, in-depth. Yeah, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed.